Hello, my name is Blossoms and welcome to another Genshin Impact video. And today we're going to be talking about Yae Miko and my initial impressions on her. I'm also going to be talking about some of the more unique aspects to her gameplay and what she brings to the table for you to consider before you skip her banner. But we're also going to be talking about some of her problems, and a lot of them are glitches. And she actually might be one of the most glitched characters ever to drop for us, at least on release here. And we're definitely going to be addressing that, talking about that. But thankfully, a lot of her issues are mostly in the fact that they're glitches. So hopefully those get fixed sooner than later and we get some Apollo gems. But we got a lot to cover, so let's get into it. First of all, let's talk about some of the unique aspects that Yae Miko brings to the table. And I want to first address this E skill, because the E skill I think is super awesome, allowing you to reposition yourself very easily. It's basically a free dodge with a short cooldown, and although it doesn't have iframes like a dodge, being able to reposition yourself around opponents is fantastic, especially because you can go in any direction you want for this. You can make a straight line, you can make a right angle basically, and you can get yourself around opponents in whatever way you need to. And I think that's fantastic, especially since this is on a short cooldown, so you're almost always going to have this in your pocket while these are going off, which I think is really good. If you're fighting like a boss that has a very telegraphed forward facing attack, you could easily just go like, oh, I'm just gonna E-skill around, and then the next thing you know, you're behind them. And I think that's really good, and it doesn't cost you any stamina, which can save you for some certain team comps that might require you to have some stamina. I think that's a really good aspect to the E-skill, and I really enjoy that. Not to mention that our E-skill here is very hands-off. It's automatic, it just zaps lightning on some homies, and it's got a really good range. We'll go over the range later here in just a second, but it's automatic on these homies, and these guys are super annoying to fight, so having a character that can just take care of that pretty easily, like the Spectres or the Rift Hounds that are always floating away on you, is very, very nice. So I really do like that the E-skill is automatic, but there are some problems with this targeting as well that we're going to go over. But yeah, I do really like that aspect to her. There's also the fact that her E-skill isn't very long. You can hit most opponents at decent ranges, but you can see I cannot hit the Spectre from this range. But if I put on Kokomi, there's really no problem in actually landing the hit. Of course, they're immune to Kokomi right now, but like where I could hit Kokomi here, I can't hit them with Yae Miko. And I think this is largely due to the fact that her normal attack actually can hit multiple opponents very easily. And I think that's their logic for making it work that way, but I still don't think that's a good way to do it. Somebody like Kokomi here can launch a projectile and it goes really far. Yae Miko uses her and it stops right there, and I know she's not the only catalyst user to do this, but I would prefer it work more like somebody like Kokomi's, where it actually covers a little bit more distance. But it does have the unique aspect of being able to hit multiple opponents very easily. Of course, somebody like Sucrose can do that via swirl very easily as well, but this, I think, is the only character that can do her normal attacks that just zoom through multiple opponents pretty easily. This E-skill, by the way, is also where the majority of her damage comes from, but it also has really good range. You can see here it's hitting the Cryo Regicide from here, and you'll note that Fischl's Oz cannot hit at this distance. It's not even trying, but we're still hitting the lightning bolts with the E-skill from Yae there. So it's got some really good range, and you get 3 of them, so you cover quite the distance with these guys. You can cover a pretty large AoE with all 3 of them there, and I think that's fantastic. I really like that aspect to it, and they can cover a lot of ground, which is pretty awesome. And that's mostly it for some of the more unique aspects Yae brings to the table that differ. And that's pretty much it for some of the unique aspects that Yae brings to the table that differ from some other units that you should probably consider before you skip her banner or anything. Nothing too insane, but I really do like her gameplay loop. It feels really solid, and she kind of fills the same role as Fischl, but not exactly the same, by having some more range on her E-skill and being able to dish out a little bit more damage by having the burst moments with her elemental burst that does some really big numbers. You can make it do some really big numbers, so I think that's really fun, and I'm definitely going to be putting her on a bunch of electrocharged or overload teams, as I love to use those teams myself. However, there are some glaring issues with Yae Miko's kit here that we need to address, and thankfully these are mostly just glitches and not core functionalities of her kit or her damage modifiers or anything being bad. It's mostly just glitches, and one of the first ones we got to talk about is the fact that her E-skill here, the targeting, is can be a little rough. You see how it targets something like the fireplace here? That's nothing new. Oz does the same thing. However, the auto-targeting on Yae Miko's E-skill seems to be taking this as a higher priority sometimes. Some people have been reporting the fact that the fireplace sometimes gets selected over an enemy in a fight, or also in the Dvalin fight specifically, the E-skill would prefer to hit the animoculi guys on the side you use to get to the other platform over Dvalin's thorn on his back. So that's a huge issue, especially considering her E-skill here is where most of her damage comes from. Even though it doesn't do as big a number as her elemental burst, the E-skill will end up doing more damage via, just existing on the field longer. So that's a really big issue if the targeting of said E-skill is not working the way it should be. Not only that, but the elemental burst has a problem too. And the problem it has is that when you use the elemental burst, you, at least on PC, I don't know about any other platforms, but after you use the elemental burst, you cannot move your camera for a pretty good duration. And we're going to use our elemental burst here. I'm going to try and move my camera the entire time, and you will see how long it takes for the camera to start moving back and forth. So let's go ahead and do that. And you see it took that long for me to be able to move my camera again, which is really, really bad in my opinion. That feels terrible, and that needs to be fixed. You can work around it though for, while we're dealing with this, I will give you a hot tip on how to work around it. If you use your elemental burst and then you use your E-skill immediately after, you can actually move your camera again. So that's the way around it, especially since you're probably going to be doing that anyway, because the elemental burst is going to refresh your E-skill stacks. So you're going to be able to do that anyway and be able to fix your camera. So just remember that, and that'll help solve that problem while they hopefully solve that problem. But yeah, that's another huge issue. And also there's one more thing with the E-skill we need to talk about. One more thing with the E-skill is the fact that in co-op, when you place all 3 of your totems, other Yae Miko players can reset your totems essentially. So if I place 3 and then another Yae Miko player uses their E-skill, it'll replace my totem, which is definitely not how that should work, and certainly needs to be fixed and addressed, and is another big bug. I've also been hearing some reports that one of her constellations is broken or doesn't work properly. Haven't been able to confirm that myself, as I don't have any constellations, nor am I getting them, but I've been hearing that as well. So yeah, these are some pretty glaring issues, some pretty big bugs. So yeah, I really like Yae Miko. I really like her kit. She's fantastic. I like the way her E-skill works. I love the area it covers. Her elemental burst does some solid damage. She does some solid damage overall in general. Very good. I love Electro Charge teams, so I'm very, very excited to be having her on those teams, as she's going to be really providing a lot, especially with the scaling of the Elemental Mastery. It's going to be so fun for me, but some of those glaring issues and glitches desperately need to be fixed, as it is hurting the quality of the gameplay significantly, in my opinion, and for a lot of other people as well. But yeah, this might be one of the most glitched characters we've ever had upon release. Let me know what your thoughts are in the comments section below. How are you enjoying Yae? Do you like her like me, but are also sad that we have so many glitches? I would love to know your thoughts and opinions in the comments section below. Other than that, my name is Blossums, and I hope you guys have a fantastic rest of your day. And if you made it this far in the video, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe if you're not already, as I deeply appreciate it that you made it this far. You're supporting my content more than the majority, and I really appreciate that. But yeah, have a great day, everybody. Peace.